President Bola Ahmed Tinubu departs for France on a short working visit. (2025) World Autism Day, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu urges Nigerians to embrace neurodiversity. Cancer survivors raise awareness through grassroots screening initiatives to encourage early detection. Hello and thanks for joining us on the News Desk at 6 on NTN 24. I am Mina Daniels. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has departed for Paris, France for a short working visit. His flight took off from Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at around 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, with the Secretary to the Government, George Akume, and other officials bidding him farewell. During the visit, the President will evaluate his administration's midterm performance, review ongoing reforms, and engage in strategic planning ahead of his second anniversary in office. A statement by Bayo Onanuga, the presidential advisor on information and strategy, noted that the recent increase in net foreign exchange reserves to $23.11 billion reflects the administration's fiscal reforms and commitment to accelerating national development. While in Paris, President Tinubu will remain engaged with his team and oversee governance activities. He is expected to return to Nigeria in about 2 weeks. As Nigeria joins the global community for advocacy on autism management, medical experts say advancing autism support requires a multifaceted approach to drive functionality and independence of persons with autistic spectrum disorder. Elizabeth Omori reports on a forum to commemorate the 2025 World Autism Day with focus on early diagnosis and intervention.
A child is a gift, but for some parents, this gift comes with immeasurable challenges. In some parts of Africa, some conditions might be attributed to supernatural influence. However, it's just a medical condition. Autism, a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by repetitive and inflexible patterns of behavior with difficulties in social interaction and communication. Recognizing the severity of this medical condition and its burden on society, April 2nd is primarily to create awareness in addressing autism. Folake Eibahi is a mother of a 10-year-old autistic girl. For her, accepting the condition aids management.
Mine did not come with autism in the first place. It was later they had an issue. Then later I just discovered that she started exhibiting some character of autism. But now I must tell you, she's getting better daily. I had to leave my job, leave everything behind, so I could take care of her. So the burden was mainly on the dad.
Advancing autism support is the reason they are gathered to explore ways to build inclusive health and education systems, as well as partnerships to drive transformative changes.
Empower individuals with autism to advocate for their rights and participate fully in the society, and for civil society to advocate for more financial fundings for children with special needs.
We have established an early intervention center where parents can come to and then engage those children with a therapist who take them through the early intervention plan, and eventually they receive all the therapeutic services they need.
They recommend an effective support system to help families navigate the path, inclusive education, promotion of psychosocial interventions, and understanding the disorder to eliminate stigmatization. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
And so we are joined by a special needs advocate, Ajayi Oluwagbemiga Samuel, to speak more on this year's World Autism Day. Thank you for joining us on the news.
Thank you so much. World Autism Awareness Day, like we may know, it's to create more awareness and also to expand the awareness in a way that the entire community, by extension, the generality of Nigeria will get to know about autism, and that will help us to know how to support people on the spectrum. You know, like the popular adage that you cannot give what you don't have. If people don't have the knowledge of this autism, they will not know how to contribute or how to support people on the spectrum. So this is why a day like this is very, very important. And I want to say thank you to everybody who has contributed in a way to the awareness that we have been creating. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ajayi. I'm sure you also know that those with autism, especially children, are not properly taken care of, yet. What do you think needs to be done or needs to change in order to consider the plight of those autism patients?
I didn't get that. Can you come again?
Okay, what needs to change in order to consider the plight of those autism patients? What do we need to do better?
All right, thank you so much. So the first thing that we need to do better is all of us as individuals, people who consider themselves as regular people need to be conscious of the fact that people on the spectrum also have a lot of things to contribute to the society. That consciousness will now make us to want to help and support these people to achieve and to, put into use their potential. That's number one. Number two, we need to put them out for help. And also, we need to keep advocating for inclusive society, because I believe personally that if a part of the society is not doing okay, by extension, the entire community or the entire society will not be okay. So this is why it is important for us as individuals that we need to be voice for these people. At times, the conditions they are living with make them to lose their self-esteem. So one of the ways that we can help them is to be a voice for them when they seem to be voiceless. And also we need to always say this to governments. And another thing that's very important is for governments to make sure the inclusive education that they are signed are properly implemented. Because I've seen cases of where we try to enroll people on the spectrum, individuals living with autism, to a school, and they will just find a way to reject the children. They will not say directly that they don't want to enroll the child. They will just come up with cases of, we don't have the right facility, we don't have a special educator in this school, we don't have people we don't have a psychologist, we don't have a therapist in this school. So one of the things that is important for us as individuals in the society that believe so much in inclusive society is to always, keep the government on their toes to ensure proper implementation of inclusive education. Thank you so much.
All right, be a voice for them. Thank you so much, Ajayi Oluwagbemiga Samuel, for your input. Thank you so much. We appreciate. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called on all Nigerians to embrace neurodiversity, advocate for inclusion, and work together to create a society where every individual has the opportunity to excel. This is in her message marking this year's World Autism Awareness Day, joining millions around the world in recognizing and celebrating the incredible potential of individuals living with autism spectrum disease. The First Lady notes that the theme of the day, advancing neurodiversity and the UN Sustainable Development Goals, is a reminder that being considerate of people living with autism is not just a moral responsibility, but a vital pillar of sustainable development. She describes neurodiversity as a beautiful testament to human uniqueness, noting, however, that many individuals with autism continue to face discrimination in accessing quality education, healthcare, employment, and social acceptance, despite efforts to achieve the SDGs, especially SDG 4 and 8, that covers access to quality education and economic opportunities for all. And as awareness and care for persons living with autism grows in Nigeria, advocates are calling for genuine understanding on plight of children with special needs and their caregivers, as meaningful support is still lacking across the country. The statement was made at a walk in Abuja, an initiative of Candlelight Foundation for Children with Special Needs and for a primary course on autism inclusion. The activities feature distribution of awareness materials as Lucy Bello, a mother of an autistic child, joins the group, who are families, educators, and caregivers, to engage the public on enlightenment and advocacy for practical support.
So mostly when they actually tell you your child is on the autism spectrum, it's actually demoralizing. But when you live in denial, that is one of the first challenges you go. You feel as if the wall has crumbled on you. You know that the wall is actually challenging on a normal, neurotypical children. How about your own? But by the time you accept it, you find out that they are the most loving children, they are the most gifted children, they are unique and they are amazing.
We've had a very beautiful work. Our target audience are parents, caregivers, and indeed the general society. We've shared out leaflets. These leaflets are in English, Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. I want to believe that this is our own little bit in seeing that we advance the cause for children with special needs. All things being equal, we are drafting we are having a blueprint that should speak to these issues. In a couple of days, we hope to seek an audience with the speaker and the senators to see how we can drive a policy of inclusion.
2nd of April every year is dedicated globally to celebrate World Autism Awareness Day. The 2025 edition focuses on calling for organizations and governments to go beyond awareness creation to driving acceptance. Cancer survivors are seeking increased awareness on colorectal cancer, the third most common cancer globally and responsible for over 600,000 deaths annually. In a quest to reduce the morbidity and mortality rate, Nest of Hope Community has taken a screening and awareness program to Jukoi, a suburb of the Federal Capital Territory. Olushe Adeabo reports.
Colorectal cancer, CRC, including colon and rectal cancer, is a growing public health concern in Nigeria, with an estimated 3.4 cases per 100,000 population. The Nigerian National Cancer Strategy identifies CRC screening as a priority.
People of Jukoi community, we want to educate you on how to prevent colorectal cancer.
Nest of Hope Advocacy and Support Community, alongside partners in the cancer space, are using this awareness creation to amplify prevention. For these cancer survivors, Dozie Akwarando, the engagements targeting people at the grassroots is to help change mindsets on colorectal cancer and build support systems.
Colorectal cancer is one of the most common diagnosed cancers in Nigeria. In fact, the first 3 commonly diagnosed cancers and the second leading cause of cancer deaths in Nigeria as we speak and globally. But the knowledge about the colorectal cancer is very low, very abysmal, that you can imagine that up to 98% doesn't know what colon cancer is. So you see that there is need for this awareness.
And definitely health consciousness is paramount for every community. Prior to this, I believe the community must have had a lot of other medical health outreach, but we specifically brought cancer awareness to this community. The truth is that early prevention Okay, it's the #1 thing when it comes to cancer.
The activities featured free medical tests and other services, discussions on health and lifestyle to highlight early warning signs and symptoms of cancer, as well as immunization of HPV vaccine for girls in the area.
Some people, before they will know what is happening to them, they will be about dying. And it's not good in this our generation. Thank God for the willingness of the organization as a sacrifice to serve our community.
The organizers also unequivocally called for unrelenting advocacy in fighting the disease. In Abuja, Olusheye Adeagbo, MTN News.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTNS 24. We have more stories after the break. Just stay with us.
Celebrate Ramadan with Bafi and enjoy up to 40% off on selected products from living room, dining room, bedroom, and royal sets. Pay less, save more, and refresh your home for iftar gatherings and cherished moments with family and friends. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online to enjoy our exclusive Ramadan sale. Let's make this Ramadan unforgettable.
Thanks for joining us again. The Muslim Media Watch Group of Nigeria has praised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for introducing new leadership at the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL. In a statement, the group described Engineer Bashir Bayo Ojulari's appointment as Managing Director and CEO as well-deserved. The media group urged the new leadership to quickly implement strategies that will enable Nigerian citizens to benefit more from the country's oil production. Specifically, they called for the refurbishment of the non-functioning NNPCL refineries to lower oil prices and alleviate economic hardships for the public. The group also emphasized the need to dismantle corrupt cartels that hinder the oil sector, highlighting that 80% of Nigeria's economy relies on oil and corruption exacerbates struggles for the poor. Furthermore, they called on state governments to ensure that vigilante groups in their areas maintain discipline and avoid behaviors such as drunkenness and drug abuse during their operations. In a response to a recent brutal killing in Uromi, Edo State, the group condemned the violence, attributing it to drug and alcohol influence. They demanded a swift prosecution of those responsible to prevent any perceptions of cover-up. Additionally, they commended Governor Monday Okpebolo of Edo State for his responsible handling of the situation and encouraged residents to recognize his achievements since taking office. All forms of mob actions and jungle justice at any level or in any part of the country must never be allowed. This was the firm position of guests on Good Morning Nigeria as they called for judiciary reforms that will strengthen the criminal justice system in Nigeria. Thomas Obeteri has details.
The unfortunate lynching in Uromi have sent shocking waves across Nigeria, sparking widespread condemnation. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria, while discussing this effort made by the governor of Edo State in Kano, commended both governors and other well-meaning Nigerians for their role in de-escalating the situation. The guest called for proper supervision, harmonization, training and regulations of all vigilante groups across Nigeria. They also stressed that Nigerians must appreciate the ethics of allowing the law to take its full course and avoid any form of mob action.
Those who meted out that jungle justice did not anticipate the reaction that will follow it. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have done what they did. So that, for me, should be something that all of us as a people should realize.
The governor has applied wisdom and problem-solving approach to issues. He has shown compassion and empathy. And this is what a leader should be. This is good leadership.
The guest noted that parents have a vital role to play in inculcating good values in their children. They also emphasized that the National Orientation Agency should continue its efforts to educate and promote peace and love among citizens. Additionally, they called on security agencies to build and strengthen trust among Nigerians.
When any incident occurs, you have to first and foremost ensure that you bring in some level of sanity.
I think we can do better, and it's a wake-up call that we have learned lesson. And of course, commendably, we have seen a radical departure, from previous instances and the responses.
They also urged Nigerians to see one another as brothers and sisters, regardless of tribe, class, or creed, in the spirit of unity and peaceful coexistence. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
The Nigerian Immigration Service has intercepted 51 Malian migrants in New Nyanya, Nasarawa State. In a statement, the service public relations officer, Akinsola Akinlabi, says the arrest follows credible intelligence on Monday, March 31st, 2025. The group, consisting of 14 males and 11 females aged 16 to 19, had no valid travel documents and are now in custody for further investigation to determine potential involvement in human trafficking or smuggling. The Nigerian Immigration Service reaffirms its commitment to border security and urges the public to report suspicious migration activities. Wife of the Vice President, Nana Kashim Shettima, has appealed to Nigerians to support President Tinubu's gender-friendly policies for the overall development of the country. She made a call in Maiduguri, Borno State, when she hosted women, youth groups and other stakeholders to celebrate this year's Eid al-Fitr. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jabrila reports.
Groups of women and youth cutting across all sectors here to celebrate with the wife of the Vice President, Nana Shettima.
It's a privilege for us, and we really appreciate you.
The Vice President was at the State House where he launched the Nigerian Youth Academy.
We, the people of Borno State, are solely 100% behind Your Excellency.
It is not a political, you can see here that it's not only a political gathering, it's people from all aspects of life.
Words of appreciation from representatives of groups pledging their support to the renewed hope agenda for a greater Nigeria.
We are so proud of her. Look at what she's doing now. Despite her tight schedule, she's squeezed time to come and wine and dine with us. What else do we expect from a mother? Yet, she remembers that her supporters are here. She's not only sending you a message, but she's coming here. Her being present here speaks volumes. That means a lot to all of us here.
Nana Shettima urged the stakeholders to support the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu government, which has created several platforms to address the diverse challenges and opportunities confronting young Nigerians, part of which focuses on empowering women to start and grow their businesses and access financial services.
Whatever it is, our aim is just to leave a good legacy, to be honest. Ours is just to build the future for the yet unborn generations. And these are the main cardinal agenda of the current President, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The national cake that people are saying, that cake is already finished. So, and he's the only one that is trying to bake that cake for us that are alive here and for our great-grandchildren that are yet to come to start eating that cake. But I can tell you that, to be honest, we all mean well, not only to Borno people, but to the entire nation.
Other stakeholders at the event commended the wife of the Vice President for always coming to the aid of the needy. From Maiduguri, Abdulrahman Jabrila, NTA News.
This is a news desk at Season 18 News 24. Here is a recap of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu departs for Paris, France on a short working visit. 2025 World Autism Day, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu urges Nigerians to embrace neurodiversity. Cancer survivors raise awareness through grassroots screening initiatives to encourage early detection. Nigeria is strengthening its bilateral ties with Algeria as Air Algeria launches its inaugural flight to Abuja. A statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs says this new route is set to enhance regional connectivity and boost trade and tourism between the two nations. It says the flight will operate on the Algiers-Abuja-Douala route starting April 6, 2025. As Nigeria welcomes Air Algiers' inaugural flight, it is hoping that this move will have a positive impact on the country's economy and its relationship with Algeria. The statement says increased air connectivity will further provide opportunities for businesses to expand their operations, tourism to explore new destinations, and people to connect with each other more easily. And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTN News 24. Many thanks for your company. I am Mina Daniels.